Okay, everything that people said about space is accurate. Space can heighten the emotional power of a statement. Space can be utilitarian, like Pastor Imogene said, in that I'm not going to hold this chord the entire count. I'm going to get my hands off the piano for a second. And I don't mean like jerk them away. You just raise your fingers up so I get a second to think about where I'm going next. Right? It's harder to go from one chord to another if you have to connect everything. Right? So that's another thing that's true about space. Um, Emotions, it's silence. We, as a social species, are terrified of silence. One of the first things they tell DJs when they get a job on the radio is no dead air. And if you think about this when you listen to the radio, you'll notice they never leave you any moments to think about what they just did. They just keep it going. They just keep it going. They just keep it going. Right? A lot of television entertainment is this way. In fact, sometimes I find older films and older television shows refreshing because they do leave some space for me to consider things, right? So we're terrified of space in some ways, right? Um, there were some other things that were mentioned. Emotion gives us a second to think about, yeah, and gives us some time to consider. Yeah, all of those
Yes.
things.
I was
Now,
just
I came by a
summarizing.
love of space really from the very beginning. The first thing I ever remember copying from a musician that was sophisticated and that put me in a certain place was from Count Basie. Count Basie was famous for the way he used space in his improvisations. If you haven't heard him play with his big band, check out the Count Basie big band, especially from the 40s and 50s, 50s and 60s when he had a ridiculously good rhythm section. Countbasie. He could say so much with so little. I heard him play a solo once on a song where he played one note for 8 measures. Just played it dong dong bong dong 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 bong bong dong 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 dong, and that was it. And it was brilliant, right? So, but thinking about how to use space. Okay, I've been working on this tune for a prelude for church today. Church on Sunday, that is. I've been working on it this week.
Turn on your original sound, Coach Morris.
Oh, I had it on in the other room. Why didn't it follow me? Thank you. Now, some of you may know it, some of you may not. It's called Higher Ground. It was written by Charles Gabriel, who's the same guy who wrote His Eyes on the Sparrow. But if I really want to heighten the space in it, I'm going to try to find places where I don't just, you know, if I'm playing it for a congregation to sing, I'm going to probably try to keep a constant sound going. And I'm not sure that's necessary. Now, once I started playing time, did any of you lose the groove? I hope not. I was not trying to make anybody confused. I was leaving space all over the place. You don't have to. Okay, I went through a phase where I thought, well, I've got to play. I've got to keep it something going the whole time. No, you don't. If you're precise, you don't have to do that. So how am I using space here? I'd like to get comments from people. You can either text them or speak, either one. How do you hear me using space?
It's a surprise in some parts.
I go for surprise. Yes, I love that.
Anticipation.
Pardon?
Anticipation.
Anticipation, which is also part of surprise. What I love to do is I leave a space and then come in with something that nobody expects, right? So, like, everybody expects to hear a chord already, right? I've just created surprise. I don't play like everybody else all of a sudden. And yet I am playing the same things everybody else plays. I'm just using them a little differently. Instead of saying, and there's nothing wrong with that. I used that, right? But instead I said, I'm going to draw you in.
For me, it creates. Ooh,
What'd you say?
oh, oh! I didn't know I was.
Imogene was laughing. Imogene was laughing,
Oh,
which is the best sound in the world. What's up?
Oh, it just creates excitement and praise in my spirit. You just want to say amen in the midst of that space. You know, it just creates worship.
You just
It
made my
just,
day. I'm serious. You just made my day.
I didn't realize I was unmuted. I was enjoying
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Absolutely.
I'm glad
It
you
gives.
were, Pastor Imogene.
So who's to say I couldn't? Okay, now I'm gonna go forward. Another one we're doing, and this one is a newer one. And apologies to Tasha Cobb because I can't sing it as well as she does. But He knows my name. He knows my name. He knows my name.
Sing that song.
He knows my name. Oh, how he walks with me. See, it made that chord a whole lot fatter just then.
Yes.
Oh, how he talks with me. Oh, how he tells me that I am his own. So now presence I am made new. You know my name. You know my name. You know my name. I've even got people singing along with me. See? Okay. You know my name. You know, I just thought of something that gives people space to moan. Now, I love this next part. And to me, the space really makes it work. So I just said that I am your own. No fire can burn me. No battle can turn me. No mountain can stop me. 'Cause you hold my hand. Now I'm walking in your victory. 'Cause your power is within me. No giant can defeat me. 'Cause you hold my, you know my name. You know my name. You know my name. You know my name. Oh, how you walk with me. Oh, how you talk with me. Oh, how you tell me that I am your own.
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah.
Pass the plate. Pass the plate.
Don't think you have to play all the time. There's an old rule of thumb. If you're running to sing and play at the same time, play when you're not singing.
Amen.
Sing when you're not playing.
Yeah. Be
Right.
creative.
Yeah, I mean, we think, you know, if you're a congregational pianist, then you know this idiom, this problem. You think you have to say,
Yeah.
he knows my name. If everybody's going to be singing it, right, you have to do all that.
Yeah.
He knows my name. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and I guarantee you somebody could sit down and do that and move
Yeah.
all of us just fine, right?
Yes.
But I still think there's more to be said, especially the beginning of it, because he knows my name. For me personally, that feels more like a prayer. Right? And I don't think, even if that's okay, I could still, if I want to double it on the piano, then I would do, instead of playing all of it, doing all that, I might say, he knows my name. Where is it written you have to do more than that to get people started singing with you? It's not. He knows my name. I promise you, you do this to a receptive group of people who want to sing, he knows my name. They'll be singing with you by the time you do this a couple of times. He knows my name. Now, to get powerful, all of a sudden you say, oh, how he walks with me. Oh, how he talks with me. Hear the contrast? I did a major 7 and then I did a triad. I did one loud, I did one soft. All of this comes from making space in your head. The challenge, the big challenge, though, is you have to really know the material.
Right.
I mean, you,
That
you
makes
better
it
know
noticeable.
it, because what you don't want to do is leave space and then come in wrong.
Right.
So,
Don't want to do that.
so, for instance, okay, I'm playing Abide With Me as well. And so, you know, I don't know if you know this old song, but it's a great one. Okay, at one point I practiced it like, abide with me, fast falls the eventide. Pretty much standard. I want the congregation to sing with me. I want it big. I want them encouraged to join on by the sound. But now when I get times to play it, I might say, abide with me, fast falls the eventide. Where is it written that I have to hold that out for 4 beats? They can
Nowhere.
do that.
Yes.
I can get them started and they can hold it out. I don't really feel any need. I don't feel any need to hold that out for 4 beats, right? Abide with me. Fat, so I cut that one off short too, right? Because I want my singing to feel personal.
Right.
I want them to feel like it's coming from my heart. And some of that is intuitive, but some of it's also calculated. I'm not going to strain. Abide with me. I'm singing now, and you should be singing with me. That doesn't feel natural to me. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Abide with me. Fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens. Lord, with me abide. Did you see what I just did?
No.
It's a B. You didn't see it, but did you hear it? Right after I said, Lord, with me abide. Now, what does something like that do? That's something I learned from Cal Basie, by the way. What does that do? Well, if
Was
I
that
say,
a hip-hop?
no, what does it do to the audience?
Wondering what's coming next. You have an
Bingo.
expectation.
Exactly. It creates this. Oh, I didn't expect that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so then, when other helpers fail and comforts flee, they'll still be singing there, but so what? Help of the helpless, oh, abide with me. Now, I'm leaving space with my voice, because I don't want my voice singing to sound forced, right?
Right.
Okay. By the way, I want to point out one thing. That's concluding for me. I want to point out, if you don't know this song, I've been working on it all week. The lyrics will bring me to tears over and over and over. Abide with me. Fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens. Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless. Oh, abide with me. The second verse is even better. Swift to its close ebbs out life's little day. Earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay in all around I see. O thou who changest not.
All right.
Abide with me. I almost teared up saying it just then. O thou who changest not, abide with me. That's a great song. If you don't know it, Abide with Me by W.H. Monk, and the words by Henry Light, written in the 1800s. But man,
Powerful words. Powerful words. I love it too.
Nothing like
Okay.
hymns.
Very comforting.
I'll take any questions if you have any questions, but I think that pretty much sums up what I had to say about it. Leave space in your head. Leave space if you're singing with your voice. Leave space if you're singing with your piano. Don't think you have to make a constant sound. This is one of the dangers. We, as musicians, we think we have to be making a constant sound. No.
Do you
Whole
think
notes
it
don't
was-
have to be whole notes. They can be half notes. They can be 3 beats, like a dotted half note. They can be a quarter note, depending upon what you do to get from that place to the next place.
Do you think it
Beautiful.
can be an overkill when you add so much to it, to music, when you add so much and it can be an overkill?
Now, that's a good question because, see, you're asking somebody who is biased towards space,
Mhm.
right? To me, now this is just to me, sometimes I feel like Oscar Peterson, who's one of the most accomplished jazz pianists of them all, plays too much.
Mhm.
But, and I saw Gene Harris, who's really fantastic, and sometimes I felt like he was overplaying a bit. So I tend to think, yes, you can overplay. However, the people I've heard who do overplay and do it really well, it's like it's a roller coaster ride and it's fun even so. Even if I might feel like, you could have done a little bit less. You know, singers sometimes go overboard to me with all of the kind of yodeling things that people like to do. You know, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, even if it's dead on, it's like it doesn't need to be done to every note. You know. And I don't mean yodeling is a negative term. I think yodeling is incredible. You know, if you don't know how to do it, it's something to work on. So yes, Imogene, I think you can overdo. I mean, you can overdo anything. You could overdo space for that matter, I guess. But it'd be a lot harder to overdo space, right? That might be an interesting challenge for you if you think you're overplaying. So then, okay, I'm gonna see if I can overplay space. I've got myself, my brain's going round and round now thinking about, is that possible, you know? So,
Very
yeah, I don't
interesting
know.
question.
That's a really good question. Is it possible to overplay or to overdo it? One man's treasure is another man's poison, you know? Yeah, I don't know. That's a really hard question. I mean, because, okay, if I say I want to play a really flourishy version of Abide With Me, you know? I mean, I'm enjoying it. You know? I don't know if I would play it that way. I certainly wouldn't play it that way if I wanted people to sing with me, right? I might play it that way if it was in a situation where I really wanted to, you know, wanted fireworks. But what do you think? You asked a deep question there.
What she's saying, right? Choirs can do that. I call it overkill.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can have where the choir, I've seen the director get up and direct, and they're not quite hitting the notes, and they'll just keep making them sing, and then they get to the end, and it's like they don't know when to cut off, and the audience is like, I'm tired already. Can y'all bring the song to a closure? So you can do something, and I call it, like she said, overkill. You can
Yeah.
play too
It's
much.
like, I had a choir director called it, you guys are falling in love with the sound of your voices.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a guy, he comes and it was a compliment. I said, "Ooh, I'm glad I'm not in that category." He came to play and he was playing, he's just all over the keyboard. But what I found, somebody was listening and they said, you know what? He's not really playing the song. He's not playing the melody of the song. If you just put him up
Mhm.
there, you would not name that tune. You would not be able to name the tune. But he has some fancy chords. I mean, they were tight, but you're
Mhm.
not playing what I'm singing.
Right.
and,
Yeah.
and so you can put it overkill. Yeah.
Melody rules.